Another thing I just discovered that isn't faring too well on this trip is my new dual battery charger for the GoPro. It's a Wasabi brand, which is an aftermarket battery company. Great batteries. Actually last longer, in my stuff at least, than OEM GoPro batteries. A little bigger capacity. And I've used their stuff before. Well, the connection point for the USB cable is a little flaky. And I'm not getting a consistent charge in my batteries, shaking around back there in the trunk. Just wiggling the cable a little bit, one or both of the charging ports isn't getting good power. So my batteries are not freshly charged when I need them. Not good. So that's another thing I'll have to pick up later at a Walmart or somewhere. Walmart's good because they carry a lot of GoPro accessories. And you can usually find a Super Walmart just about anywhere these days, even in small towns. So I'm sure I'll run into one at least later tonight. I've got it squished together enough where I should be charging now at least, so I can get a couple fully juiced up. The one I'm on right now only has a half charge. It may not even last all the way back here going through the Dragon, but you know what? If something's going to happen, I want it on video. So I've got this one in here and 2 drained, charging right now. And then I'll pick it up whenever I get full charge on one as I go from the Dragon endpoint here towards the Chirahala. Who knows, I might even find a Walmart at the end of that. There actually might be one in the middle of that route because I do go through a fairly large town. I'll at least have cell service so I can check. Alright, here, start the twisties again. Time to concentrate. In my last video, I asked you guys if you preferred going up or downhill. For those of you that have run the Dragon, which way do you prefer? Going what I'll call up from Deals Gap, or going down, coming back to Deals Gap? It really is such a different road, at least to me anyways, going one way versus the other. For some reason, I'm more comfortable going up, but the road seems easier going down. I don't know why. Anyway, let me know what you think. I'm sure many of you have ridden this road many times, a lot more than I have. This is probably my 15th time. Never gets old. Wow, I'm actually very impressed with that pickup. He's hauling ass. And he's staying in his lane? I bet he lives around here. Whoa. Whoa. That really pushed out there coming out of that apex. That was slick. Oh, thank you, dude. Didn't even need that. Very courteous drivers today. A few of the photographers are out too. Right back there is where I pulled off last time and got a lot of really cool shots of bikes and stuff going by. There's not nearly enough traffic out today to do that. I'd be sitting there for hours just to get a few shots. It's too bad. Here's another question for you guys. Do you turn better left or right? Or better put, is there a direction that you don't feel as comfortable for any reason turning? For me, I turn left a lot more comfortably than I turn right. I don't know why. The only thing I can think of is I may naturally be leaning my body left more than I do to the right. For whatever reason. Maybe it's my foot position, because my left foot is further back for getting over or under the shifter, and my right foot is moved forward for being on the brake. So it's a little different just leaning off the bike. It does make a huge difference though if you don't do any kind of leaning. If you stay straight up on the bike versus just a little lean. I mean, just shift your torso. I'm not talking about hanging off. The bike flicks over just so much more naturally. Feels like it wants to fall into a corner rather than you having to push on the bar. But for me, right is an exercise every single time. I was trying to look for that corner that I almost lost it at last year when I came up. And it was funny, in the moment, I thought I was just plain going too fast. And I thought I just ran out of corner. But what's really interesting is when you have video to play back like that and you can analyze it, a different story comes out. I was certainly going a little fast, but that's not why I ran out of road. The reason was simply because I had completely the wrong line in that series of corners. That particular corner was a decreasing radius, quickly followed by an opposite turn. What happened was, I was coming in right at the limit for the first part of the first curve, and I was on the inside. Then when it sharpened up, I was already at my lean angle, right at the limit. I was already scraping my peg. So it's not that I was simply going too fast. I mean, I was for the second part of the curve. It's that I didn't see it was a decreasing radius. So by being on the inside and then having it sharpen up, what happened was at the end of that, I ended up at the outside of the curve, even though I was still leaning the same amount. The road changed direction. And then it completely turned the other way. So it went from being on the outside, or inside, you know what I mean, into the other lane. And then I did just simply run out of road. There aren't too many of these corners that are decreasing radiuses. There's only a couple of them, but that was one of them. And it's such a tiny little section. And of course it's on a blind curve, so you can't see it's decreasing. You just have to know it's there. I'm definitely not familiar enough with this road to really go at it. That's why I've still got the map up here. I don't need it for navigation. I'm simply using it to look at the curves, glance down, see what's coming up. Oh, I should have some really nice pictures from this trip. I think I've passed 5 each way, and they were all shooting. And and with the exception of one time where I was passing a car coming the other way, they've all been clear shots, and most of them have had really good sunlight. And the bike's not all rainy. Had one trip shots ruined from that because the bike just looked all wet. One year I had the rain gear on. That was when I did the run all the way through with no traffic. And I looked like the freaking Michelin man. Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. He's riding through his sunroof with a GoPro. That's cool. So those were horrible pictures. I mean, seriously, they looked like I weighed 500 pounds. Because not only was it sweatshirt, no, it was shirt, sweatshirt, jacket, rain jacket. It was all puffed out from the wind too. So man, I looked huge. And then the next year, it's just like this with just my regular gear. I look like half the person, even though it's exactly the same. So that's cool. Should be able to see those pictures tonight at the hotel. They're really good about getting the stuff up. For anyone new, what they have are private photographers and companies set up, and they just go to the good corners here for photography, and they set up a vehicle or a tent or a booth, and they sit there all day and photograph everything that goes by. And then what you do is you go on their website, usually a day or two after. If it's real busy, it takes a couple days. But on days like today, it'll be up by tonight. They edit the good video or photos and put them up there. And then you can buy whatever you want. I just get the digitals. I don't bother printing anything out. And you get a discount if you buy more than one. Usually there are more than one that are good. And they take, if it's a day like today where there's no groups of anybody riding, you'll get a dozen shots per corner. So you have a lot to choose from. And they're very high quality. They're all very high resolution. They're professional photographers. And they don't put up the crappy ones, which are very few and far between. Usually it's a montage of you going all the way through the corner. And you just pick the best one or ones that you like. And you buy them and you can immediately download them. It's really cool. And there are 3 or 4 different companies doing that. So far today I've seen Killboy, who's the original, and he has a shop right there across from the lodge, and he sells his stuff there. He's got a lot of branded stuff, shirts, and he's got some GoPro stuff. Oh, you know what? He may have a battery charger. Just thought about that. But he does have basic electronics, and he has a charging station there if you need to recharge your stuff in a pinch. So that's nice. He's not open a lot. Does have some limited hours, but he's open during the day. And then you've got 129 photos, 129 being this highway. And I think you've got Dragon Slayer is one of them. And I think there's one that's Tail of the Dragon photos or something like that. Anyway, there's a bunch of them, but I've only seen, I think, 3 here today. I'll have to check them all. I know I saw Killboy, I saw 129 photos, and I think I saw the Slayer one. I can't remember what the website's called. But anyway, I should have a whole bunch of great photos. And definitely don't show off for the camera. They all have their crash montages too, from people doing just that. You know, they get all caught up in, I'm gonna get as low as I can, I'm gonna go super fast, I'm gonna get an awesome photo, and then you end up crashing right in front of the photographer. Or worse, crashing into somebody else. So don't show off. Just pretend they're not there, they'll do their job, and everybody will be happy. Well, that was a real nice run. I can definitely do it way faster if the road's nice, but no cops today. Didn't have to worry about how fast I'm going. I just did it at my pace I wanted to. slid out a few times there, but overall, nice wheelie, dude. That was great. So I'm going to check in Killboy's here for a charger, and hopefully this battery is still going, and continue on to the Churrahalla. Stay tuned.